Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Elswitch Airline Flight 815, departing from F around and landing in Fine Out. In the event of an emergency on this aircraft, passengers are advised to put on their own oxygen masks before helping others. So either Isabela Ferrer has clearly never been on an aircraft or she just never listens to that message. Well, we're here and we're getting ready to take off. So, flight attendant, prepare the cabin for takeoff.
F around and find out. F around and find out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of F Around and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie. I appreciate you for being here. Well, I'm sure you've seen it by now, but Isabela Ferrer, well, I guess she's found her voice. She's no longer in hiding, or has the check just cleared? You know, the Blake Lively check. Because Isabela Ferrer is singing a completely different tune and bigging up her chest quite big on the docket, considering her lawyers are now calling Justin Baldoni all sorts of names and throwing all kinds of accusations around. If you didn't get a chance to join me and Lauren last night on the live, you missed a lot. And I apologize. I won't have the time to go through everything again today because I'm quite angry about this and I'm quite drained. And honestly, like I got my venting done on the live. So I'm going to just try to hit you with the highlights of what's going on this document. And I'm very, very confused, but I'm not surprised because if you guys will remember from the beginning, every video I made that involved Isabel Ferrer, I made the point to be clear about not infantilizing her because that's something a lot of creators were doing, a lot of people were doing in general. Oh, let's give her grace. Oh, she's a kid. Oh, she's new. This is just her beginning in the industry. She doesn't know what to do. And I hated that sentiment. She's not a child. A child knows right from wrong. Just because they do wrong doesn't mean they don't know it's wrong. They know. Everything is a choice. Even my child, who is 6 years old, looks me dead in the eye, doing things he knows he's not supposed to do, but he's waiting for the reaction. And you either have to give them the reaction they want or the opposite. Either way, it's a choice, and they know they're making it. Now, it's debatable, how young a person has to be to know absolute right from wrong. But to try to say Isabela Ferrer, a 24-year-old woman pushing 25 in a matter of months, is a child and doesn't know much is absolutely wild, especially in this industry. People in this industry tend to have to grow up a little earlier, a little sooner, because you have to be you have to be taught and you have to be made to understand what industry you're walking into, what rooms you're walking into, the people you're surrounding yourself with. So I was never with the idea of calling her a child and giving her quote unquote grace and allowing, things to play out. Because the grace you guys have been giving her, she turned around, sharpened it, and turned it into a shiv, and she just stabbed everybody in the back. Because the way her lawyers are talking on the docket, which we're going to get into it, because I mentioned on the live, the tonation, the way her lawyer is speaking, the way the motion is just written in general, some of the references they're making, it feels nothing like a new lawyer has entered the conversation. It feels nothing like there's a new lawyer in the docket. All I see and all I hear is Mike Gottlieb and Ezra Hudson in my ear. I don't know if you guys will feel that way when you get a chance to read it for yourself or hear some of the quotes I'm going to bring up out of it, but it feels like she is in cahoots with Team Lively. I said it. Sue me. Well, don't, but sue me. In the last video, we covered Isabel Ferrer was dodging a subpoena pretty much because the Wayfair parties have tried umpteen times to try to subpoena her and they can't seem to get a hold of her or her lawyer. But today, her lawyer found the vim, the gumption, and the vigor to write back on a docket stating, you're going to be infuriated. I'm letting you know. I'm warning you ahead of time. Don't say I didn't do anything for you ever. I'm telling you right now, you're about to be pissed off. This is Ms. Ferrer's first filing in the court, but she was pulled into the discovery fray in February 2025 when Blake Lively delivered a subpoena to her to delve into allegations about Ms. Ferrer that Baldoni included in his original complaint. Her lawyer is saying Isabela was pulled into this lawsuit initially back in February when Blake Lively sent her a subpoena, right? And right away, the first thing Isabela did was pretty much contact It Ends With Us LLC as a company, for the movie, and was like, hey, by the way, Blake has brought me in here. I would like indemnity. Indemnity is what? When it's like, I work for you, you have a lawsuit going on. Not exactly in the lawsuit, but I'm being brought in by a subpoena, by request for production, whatever. And with that, if I want to fight anything, do you agree to cover my attorney? Do you agree to get me an attorney? Do you agree to pay for an attorney if I find one? your company or your boss, whoever is going to say yes or no. Typically, it's going to be yes because like it's not your fault. The lawsuit is happening, right? So she asked for that. She got that. This is where her lawyers completely lose me. And if you're Isabela, you cannot say you did not know your lawyer is going to write this. Brace yourself because the headlines that are going to come out of this is not going to be fun. Don't say I didn't warn you again. I'm telling you right now. From that point forward, Baldoni has tried to manipulate, threaten, control, and otherwise act inappropriately towards Miss Ferrer. My God, today. Act inappropriately towards Miss Ferrer? What are you trying to do here? What exactly are you trying to achieve here with these words? These is fighting words where I'm from. Manipulate, control, threaten, act inappropriately towards you. Yeah, square up. You ready to go? Isabela, you allowing your lawyer to say this about Justin? Oh, okay. Okay, that's not all. In fact, Baldoni's legal team has gone as far as citing a phony case which Ms. Ferrer's counsel discovered as an AI hallucination to support a frivolous legal position. I want to see what case it is. If it is, it's messed up, but they didn't cite it. They didn't point us to it, so I can't tell you what case they're talking about. But it did not stop there. The filing of this motion, to subpoena her, is yet another attempt to manipulate the press to create havoc on a young, up-and-coming, and talented actress and to violate the court's policies on the publishing of non-party personally identified information. I want you to take a guess in a comment. Who does this sound like? The filing of this instant motion is yet another attempt to manipulate the press. Whose lawyers speak like this? There's more, by the way. But I'm telling you, the whole time me and Lauren were reading this document, like it chilled down my spine. I was like, is this my Gottlieb or Ezra Hudson talking through this man? Because this does not sound like a new attorney. This is definitely Ezra Hudson's handwriting. This is Mike Gottlieb's tonation. Am I wrong? The big picture is they're asking the judge to not grant the motion to serve Isabela Ferrer with a subpoena. And if you want to hear more Mike Gottlieb and Ezra Hudson lingo, here we go. The court should not grant the motion, but instead sanction Baldoni for engaging in such obvious, sharp practices. Sanctions? Isabela Ferrer, you just walked in here asking for sanctions. I'm Isabela Ferrer, and I approve this message. Because what the actual hell is this? Talk about ungrateful. Talk about despicable. And I hate and I told you so kind of girl. And I hate to be it, but I told y'all so. She was not a child. Stop infantilizing her. Let's stop giving her grace. Because now she just told all of us to go shove that grace up where the sun don't shine. In the last video, I made it abundantly clear that the Wayfair parties had tried to reach out to Isabela's lawyers multiple times on 2 separate occasions and had sent people to serve her the subpoena at multiple different addresses, over 5 times, and still did not get a hold of her. So how her lawyers feel so bold to write this is beyond me. The motion discloses no efforts made by Baldoni to determine Ms. Ferrer's actual residential or business address, nor does it offer a... She worked on that movie. They probably sent checks, they probably sent documents to at least one of these addresses. They know it's her address. You guys sent an affidavit approving 1 or 2 of these addresses. How come all of a sudden it's not her address anymore? You're just going to claim it's not her current address. Like things have changed since she worked on the movie. Okay, forget the address aspect of things. You're her lawyer. Why didn't you respond to your email on 2 separate occasions? Hello? Anybody home? To the contrary, by responding to the lively subpoena, Ms. Ferrer has already proven that when faced with a valid subpoena in this matter, she will comply with her obligations. There is no proper foundation to support the motion. You know what I want to know? What address or what method did Blake Lively use to subpoena Isabela? Can you answer that for me? Did Blake Lively's subpoena go to you, the lawyer, to your email, or to any of the addresses Justin and his team try to use? If the answer to that is yes, to any of those places, you got me effed up. because at this point you're playing in my face, and I can't stand that. Don't do that. Let's not do that. Just say you're evading the subpoena, and we can all move on. But this cock and bull story you're coming up with is childish. It's beneath you, sir. This is the part that gets me, because Isabela, I never cared for you, never liked you, wasn't on like, but now I'm super disappointed. Okay, listen to this. Unfortunately, the motion is just the latest in a broader pattern of conduct by Baldoni to bully Miss Ferrer. Okay, what? Excuse you? Those of us who are paying attention, are you seeing now how this sounds like a work done by Mike Gottlieb or Ezra Hudson? Is this feeling familiar to you? Because why are you saying this feels like the latest in a broader pattern of conduct by Baldoni to bully Miss Ferrer? When has Baldoni ever bullied Miss Ferrer? If you're saying this is the latest pattern or whatever, when was the first step? When was the first bully incident? You see how Ezra Hudson wrote this for you? You see how Mike Gottlieb probably wrote this for you, and you just put your pen at the end? I see it, but okay, carry on. While Ms. Ferrer will faithfully comply with her legal obligations under any subpoena, summons, or court order, she obviously will not be intimidated or extorted by any party to otherwise participate in the proceedings. You know, it's funny you bring that up, Mr. Michaelman, whatever your name is, because it's giving confession. It's giving somebody is paying her to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying, Mr. Michaelman? It's given somebody is keeping your client quiet. Just as a refresher, this is what the Wayfair parties are asking for from Isabela Ferrer. And when we covered this in our last video, I said, this is going to be the easiest request for production ever. But I also said the juiciest part, the messiest part is going to be number 4. And all I'm seeing from this 23-page, 69-page response is they're trying to avoid giving up number 4, because that's got to be the moneymaker. Because why are you doing all of this, Isabela? Why even wasting time with a lawyer? Fine, have a lawyer, have counsel, whatever. But all of this, you're calling this man a bully. He's harassing you. He's being inappropriate because you don't want to give up number 4. Because let's take a look through her request for production and tell me exactly where the conflict is and why she should even care. Number 1, all documents relating to any discriminatory, harassing, retaliatory, inappropriate, unwelcomed action, conduct, or statement made during the production, editing, or promotion of the film. You should be able to check off not applicable. You have nothing to give. Great. Number 2, all documents relating to any complaint, grievance, or report, whether formal or informal, oral or written, of harassment, discrimination, retaliation, workplace misconduct, or any other inappropriate conduct or statement made to any person during the production, editing, or promotion of the film. Kind of like number 1. You don't have anything to give because you didn't have a problem, right? Number 3, documents relating to any intimate scenes in the film. You had a couple of intimate scenes. Give that up. Number 4. Oh, number 4. Actually, let's skip number 4. We'll come back, right? Let's look at number 5, 6, 7. Number 5, all documents produced in connection with any subpoena in the action. All communications relating to Baldoni, easy, especially because Baldoni already has that, right? All communications relating to Heath, easy, because Heath already has that. Let's go back to the moneymaker, number 4. All communications between you and Lively relating to the film, any Wayfair defendant, or the action. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even need to waste your time with the other 22 pages on the docket or the 69 pages or the attachments. Number 4 of the request for production is why we're here. Call me crazy, but there is something in Isabela Ferrer's text messages between her and Blake Lively that we can't see. There is something in Isabela's text messages between her and Blake Lively that we absolutely, positively, consequently can never, ever see. Because if there isn't, then riddle me this. Why isn't Isabella sipping Mai Tais in Palm Springs somewhere or anywhere in the world and just airdropping all of this stuff? Because none of these should have any meaning for you. You're not claiming SH. You're not claiming any of these. You're not claiming retaliation. You know, you had a great time on set. It was the best experience of your life, the best. So why? Why are you fighting this subpoena? This is it. You have an easier subpoena than the content creators who were subpoenaed. So oh, I'm confused. I'm confused, sis. Enlighten me. Why are you fighting? Her lawyer says, although her role in the film was important, she only spent 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Although her role was important, she only spent 4 days on set and was paid a small sum for her work. Okay. She has little to do with the operative facts and events of this case, but that has not stopped her from being pulled into the dispute by Baldoni in a number of different ways. So when Blake Lively all but claimed Isabella was another victim, you had no issue. When Blake Lively subpoenaed her, you had no issue. But when Baldoni wants to see her text messages with Blake Lively, all of a sudden, she's looking victimish. She's looking victimy. Victim looks real good on her. All of a sudden, Baldoni is a bully. Okay. I know I said they had me fucked up multiple times before this point. But if I'm being honest and being very real, right here is where that lawyer has me all the way fucked up because of the insinuation. Listen to this. The 179-page complaint Baldoni filed against Lively makes 4 different references to Ms. Ferrer and includes screenshots of a few text messages Ms. Ferrer sent. Not surprisingly, some of the text messages Ms. Ferrer sent to Baldoni were very positive and included the types of comments one would expect from a young actress to make to the director and producer of her first feature film. When you hear that, what do you hear? I'll give you a minute. Minute is up. You took too long. When I hear that, I hear a man who thinks he is so fast and so quick, he's going to lay the foundation for somebody to read this for a headline, perhaps, that's going to read, is it possible Isabela Ferrer sent that text message to Justin Baldoni as a way to stay in his good graces, as a way to be liked in the industry? Because when I read this, what I'm hearing is, oh, it's not like Isabella sent the text message because she genuinely felt the way she felt. What text message am I talking about? This text message, the same exact text message we just talked about in the last video, where she was so grateful, thanked the man for the opportunity, life-changing experience. Now her lawyer is teeing it up to make you believe, to make a random person of the street believe the only reason Isabella sent this text message was because it was her first time working on a feature film, and that's just something you do. No, that's just not something you do. You don't just send this to a director if you don't truly feel that way, if this truly wasn't your experience. But again, the devil's a lie, because this is very dangerous. What they did in this is very, very dangerous, because I can see the headlines now. They swear Baldoni's motion led to negative publicity for Ms. Ferrer. As with many filings in this case, the motion generated public interest. Ms. Ferrer has felt the effect of the public comments about the motion. For example, an Us Weekly article about, ain't nobody checking for Us Weekly, but I'll give it to you. An Us Weekly article about Baldoni's motion wrongly asserts that Baldoni explained that Ferrer's lawyer failed to respond. You did fail to respond. I'm sorry. You did fail to respond to your email on 2 separate occasions. And old girl wasn't at any of her addresses she had on multiple occasions. Where is the... Let me not litigate this. Let's just read it. Other posters accused Ms. Ferrer of dodging service and speculating Ms. Ferrer was doing so at the direction of Lively. Isn't she? Are we wrong? More dangerous are the direct messages Ms. Ferrer has received from social media users, some of which have come with personal threats and hateful statements. I'm going to show you those DMs the lawyer is speaking of that are harmful and threatening. I personally wouldn't go around DMing anybody because that's just not my cup of tea. I don't have the time, quite literally. But if I did have the time and I was going to DM somebody, none of the DMs that I've seen are something I would call threatening. I'm going to read it to you. We can agree to disagree. Do I think people should be DMing her? No. And I said as much. I don't think people should be DMing anybody. They're going to find you, hun. I think that's funny. Sooner or later, you chose wrong. Blake the Snake is going to ruin your career before it even began. Justice for Justin, and you suck, bish. I wouldn't have said that. Tell Izzy to stop dodging her subpoena and tell the truth, or she's going to lose her audience with her silence. It's so obvious Ryan and Blake are paying for her lawyers and are the reason she's hiding. Her choosing silence is backing Blake, and she's crazy if she thinks the internet is going to forget how she's acting now. That fake ass. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't say that again. I would never write that to somebody. This is a bit much. Like, stay out of people's DMs. I said that already. Hey, Judas. This is crazy. Hey, Judas. Why are you running? Hey, Judas. Why are you running away? Face the consequences of your action. Not threatening. Not threatening. Let's be honest. Would I do it? No. But it's not threatening. Blake and Ryan will take you down with them, do the honorable thing, tell the truth. Not scary, not threatening, not dangerous. It's time, Izzy. The subpoenas are knocking. Your career is over. So at least do the right thing, girl. You might get your career back in 35 or 35 years. with hiding, never. People will not forgive you. And the two absolute losers, Laura said losers. Losers, Blake and Ryan, are over anyway. I would not be scared. This person is literally telling her, don't be scared to tell the truth. Not threatening. They're threatening messages. If you want to see threatening messages, I can show you threatening messages. This is not that. But again, I'm not a threatening police, so I can't tell her how to feel. Do the right thing, Isabela. If that was your dad or family member being accused of doing something they never did, they would want someone to do the honorable thing too. What's happening to Justin isn't fair, and it's ruining his family and career. Again, not threatening. That sounded more like advice than threatening. I'm not saying it's right to DM her. I feel like I have to belabor the point, but not threatening. Why are you avoiding being subpoenaed? You need to be on the right side of history and just fucking go to court and say what happened. Except, okay. Isabela, please stand up and do the right thing. Speak the truth about Justin Baldoni. This situation is incredibly unfair to you. I agree. But please consider that if you don't stand up for the truth, that will haunt you for the rest of your life. I do not think that lying for Blake Lively is the person that you are. Not threatening. Your career is going to tank, and I'm glad. That's just crazy. So I want to wrap that by saying, while these messages are messages I would never write to somebody, I would never send to somebody, I don't agree with going into people's DMs other than to show appreciation for their work or to send actual criticism, like actual constructive criticism. I don't believe in sliding in people's DMs, period. But I can also sit here, and I don't want to sound hypocritical, but these are not threatening. These messages are not dangerous. Nobody threatened her or said anything dangerous in this message. They may have gloated about the fact that you're not going to have a career. That's not threatening. They don't actually have control of that. Do you see where I'm going? Conclusion, her lawyer says that Baldoni has not met a threshold for seeking to serve Ms. Ferrer by means other than personal service. But you know what, though? Okay, fine. He hasn't met the means to serve by personal service. Now that you're responding as a lawyer, can you finally check your email so you can just receive her subpoena? Since you're here, we found you. Or can you give us the right address? Since you say the other addresses are wrong. Now that you're here, can you do that? Ms. Ferrer respectfully asked the court to deny Baldoni's motion and take appropriate action to protect the non-party that Baldoni so recklessly disclosed publicly through his filing. First of all, if you're in here about redactions, I have news for you, buddy. We left redactions somewhere back in February, okay? Blake's team stopped redacting. They started showing people's kids' faces, addresses, health information, phone numbers, emails. We left redactions back in February. So sucks to suck, but like you're in it now. Isabel Ferrer has arrived at her destination, which is exactly the find out stage of if you don't put your mask on before you help others, yeah, you can't breathe. And she's finding out right now. The next 24, 48 hours are going to be tough in these streets. I'm not going to lie to you. The headlines are going to be crazy. The comment sections of pages are going to be crazy. Do not engage. Remember, critical thinking is chasing them. Critical thinking wants to be friends with these people, but they're all antisocial. Stay safe, stay sane, and don't engage. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. We're almost at 24K. Guys, how are we doing this? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Remember, don't engage. The comment section is a crazy place. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.